All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Loudmouth MMA podcast. Today, it's just Shaun and I. We are breaking down UFC Fight Night 110, Lewis vs. Hunt. Before we get started, I just wanted to give a shout out to our sponsors. Please go to thevoball.com to learn more about their incredible product. It is oh man, I always struggle to try to explain it. It's not very confusing. It's in fact, it's an incredibly simple thing to use. It's just not the easiest thing to explain. Basically, there's a rubber ball that hangs from your ceiling. I'm not sure if it's made of rubber, but you know what I mean. It hangs from the ceiling. You punch it, it bounces off of the ceiling and comes back. You keep hitting it like a paddle, sort of. And it's so you can train head movement, so you can train, reflexes, just like you're in a normal boxing fight, except no one's punching at you. It's just a ball coming back at you that you're hitting. You're controlling how hard it comes back. 2-size balls. Go check it out. Watch videos on it. Go to YouTube, type in Voball. You can watch tons of videos. Go to their Facebook page. Chris does a really good job about posting videos of him using it. And you can also buy this thing in a lot of different stores. So if you have a sporting goods store near you, go check the store to see if they have it there. Or just go to the website, buy one straight from them. It's pretty simple. Also, the Glen Avenue Soap Company. Please go to glenavsoap.com. Get yourself some organic soap, specifically some organic hand soap. It's an incredible product. It really is. I'm not just saying that. I really do love it. And also just their soaps in general, like stuff you use in the shower. They're really awesome. The one I like, I think it's called Not a Brown Trout, I think is the name of the soap. It just has coffee in it, and the coffee is like an exfoliator. Like that's what they're what it's in there for, and it's like cinnamon and nutmeg. I don't know what's all in it, but it smells fantastic. Super manly, right? Because we all know that I am the manliest of the manliest. So please go to Glenn. I'm also my voice is kind of leaving me a little bit. Hopefully we'll get through the episode. So Shaun and I are going to try to get through this episode pretty quickly. We all have a lot of stuff, as you can hear my kids in the background. Well, we all have a lot of stuff going on today, so we're going to try to get through this card as quickly as possible. So, all right, let's get into it. All right, guys, we are going to get right into this. I mean, it's a decent little card. I'm not thinking it's awful or anything like that. It's just kind of it feels a little bit like a throwaway card. We just had a really good card in 212 that a lot of people were complaining about, but I mean, I didn't really have a problem with it. But before I get into that any further, Shaun, how's it going, buddy?
It's going good. This card is not a throwaway card. Actually, I like this card in terms of as a fight fan. There's some decent bets on it. I'm actually, funny knowing me, I'm struggling most with from a DraftKings perspective. We'll kind of talk about why as we get into it. But next week is a throwaway card. That card is not good.
So I will say, yeah. Now, is next week, is that the Betch Kohea card?
It is.
Oh,
it's the card that starts, the prelims start at 4:30 in the morning.
Do we have
Singapore.
to break it down? We do.
Maybe just the main card.
We have to just break it down. Let's just do it.
The opening fight is Lucy Pudlova.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Who's she even fighting?
It's a blank silhouette with the name Kim. And I haven't looked up yet. There's a couple interesting fighters on the card. Scoggins and Olka Sasaki.
I do like Scoggins. Is Scoggins moving up in weight? Is Scoggins going to bantamweight? Is he still a flyweight?
I think flyweight because he's taken on Olka Sasaki, who took that beating at the hands of Wilson Hayes. You got Walt Harris and Cyril Asker. You know what? The undercard isn't terrible. The main card sucks.
Yeah. Well, the main event is, and I would have to get someone like Keith on to really get into this. But from my memory, it's the worst main event in history. I can't even imagine a worse main event. It's someone who has lost 3 straight, who, before beating Rousey was by all accounts pretty pedestrian as far as MMA is concerned. We always knew she had good striking. But, she looked pretty pedestrian against not very good competition. and obviously went in there and just dusted Ronda Rousey. Which we've seen what's happened since then, and I don't know. And then Betch Kohea, who just had a draw, and had a draw because she got beat down so badly in a round that all the judges scored it a 10-8, and she had barely squeaked by in the other round. So I don't know, man. That is awful. It's awful matchmaking too, because Holly Holm is supposed to be in the featherweight division. That was the whole point. So I don't know, man. That's a
whole other thing. The featherweight division.
I know.
But this card is good. I do like this card.
I do. Well, I was going to say the main card. I will say this much: the main card, except for the first fight, because I just don't really know a whole lot about it. I've only seen Volkanov. I believe you pronounce his name Volkanovski.
Yep.
The only fight that I've ever seen of his was his first fight, and he looked pretty incredible in that first fight. It's funny, he's fighting two Japanese people back to back, probably because it's in Australia, so it's kind of in line there. But
there are some throwaway fights, but don't miss the 7:00 fight, the first fight. Dong Hyun Kim and Gowdy.
It's
don't miss
incredible.
that fight.
That's incredible that's the first fight. I mean,
that should be the featured prelim.
Yeah, we'll get to that fight when we get there. There is one main card fight that I absolutely cannot stand, but we'll get to it. So
wait, let me guess before we start. It's got to be Hooker Pearson.
Of course.
Yeah.
Pearson, it might be one of the most. I don't even know if you can call him overrated. I don't even know if that's the word I'm looking for, but it's just go ahead.
Yeah, it'd be a slam dunk if Hooker wasn't moving up in weight.
Oh, and he looked. I mean, listen, Daniel Hooker. The fight he just lost was against Jason Knight, and he lost a decision to Jason Knight. And we have seen what Jason Knight has been capable of. So I don't know, man. Chaz Skelly couldn't even last Jason Knight. So. And Daniel Hooker didn't look great, but he also, he kind of held his own there for a minute. Eventually he got overpowered, but he held his own there for a minute. So he should be able to, we're not on this fight yet, but in my humble opinion, he's only lost to Yair Rodriguez, Jason Knight, and Maximo Blanco. It's the only losses he has, as far as the UFC is concerned. So, he's faced some really tough competition. Now, granted, he also hasn't really beaten anybody, obviously, but I don't know if I think Ross Pearson is not very good at all. What is his record in the UFC? It's awful. It's whatever it is. It's pitiful.
Yeah, it's not good. I don't think I have it in front of me. It's not good.
Yeah, it's not good at all. It's not good at all. So, anyway, we'll get to that fight when we get to it. This is going to be really informal. It's you and me. Kobe is having some, family emergency, so he's tending to that, so he's unable to join us this week. So it's just you and me. It's probably going to be pretty DraftKings heavy, but we're going to try to keep this thing under 45 minutes. So, guys, if you're looking for an intense breakdown, I would probably go check out Half the Battle. Go check out Creating Alpha. What are other French shows that do breakdowns?
Brett Apley's show on Roto Grinders, but
Sure.
On the Daily Fantasy MMA channel I listen to. I am a fan of Will Martin's breakdown videos. It's a little late this week, but his videos are good because generally they come out the Monday of fight week. So he's usually the first guy out there. He's about to. Yeah, he's about to have a kid.
It's dangerous.
But yeah, I really like what he does, and he's the first one out there. He's almost always the first predictions I see.
So great, yeah. So yeah. Anyway, this is a week where you're going to want to listen to a whole bunch of different opinions. Don't just listen to this show because you're not going to get a super well rounded. I'm just being upfront and honest with people. You're not going to get a super well rounded. Shaun and I are going to talk really heavily on DraftKings.
But you're not going to. I don't think you're going to get a lot of varying opinions.
Probably
I think this card's pretty cut and dry.
Pretty cut and dry. Even if you go on, which is funny because I was going to say Tapology isn't nearly as cut and dry as I thought it would be, but yeah. Okay, let's get into it, man. The first fight, I already alluded to it. It's Volkanovski taking on Hirota. Hirota's a guy who, I haven't been super familiar with, but I have liked what I have seen. He did have that fight with Ishihara, which wound up being a draw. I'm not quite sure which doesn't really bode that well either. So I will say his two really not being very good, right? Or I don't want to say Ishihara is not good, but you know what I mean. Like
he doesn't show up some fights. He disappears.
Well, certainly our Mlobov fight.
Oh God.
So I don't know. I don't know what to make of this guy. I mean, like, good Lord, Cole Miller, and I remember that fight. Cole Miller looked like trash. I mean, I remember that was. I think it's because I was all in on Cole Miller for that fight, like DraftKings. Where I was just all in. I was like, wasn't that the same card that Munasori was on too, guys? And yeah, I think I'm looking at that fight card right now. Make sure I'm right. Yep, I'm absolutely right. Yep, that was the exact. But anyway, I think this should be Volkanovski in his first fight looked pretty incredible, and he has won.
Starter, he starts really fast. I don't think Hirota's going to start fast enough, and Volkanovski's moving down to 1 to be a problem. He's fought plenty at 145.
He has plenty at 45.
So he's going to have more power. I think he's just going to be too fast a starter for Hirota. The problem is he's the most expensive guy on DraftKings. I think it's 9,300. Of course, I'm at the top of the list. Yeah, 9,300, and he's a minus 320 favorite. Everyone's expecting him to run through Hirota, but you actually might get him lower owned than usual because there are so many favorites people are liking to win. A lot of people. My initial reaction was stars and scrubs, but there's not that many scrubs for DraftKings. I think it's going to be a mid-range pick.
The other thing is Hirota's never been finished, so he does have a finish on his record. However, it was an injury. It wasn't a finish. He was injured. He injured his shoulder.
But Volkanovski's a rare guy who from second one is like, I'm going to finish you. Let's fucking go.
True, and it's one of those things where it's like you don't want to use because it's a really troubled argument where you're like, well, he's fighting a guy who's never been finished. Yeah, but he's never fought this guy before, so he's never been finished because he's never fought this person. You know
what I've watched, I just think Volkanovski's better, and actually the price interests me because I don't think a lot of people are going to go there. A lot of people have shied away from these high price guys like Paul Felder and Reza Madadi, and
I just don't like
more
him.
Recent one.
I just don't like him at being is that they have to do everything right to make their price worth it, and you're going to struggle to get the value there. Now, Hirota is completely out of the question. Even if you're completely doing stars and play, I would rather play the guy who's fighting John Moraga over the guy who's fighting Volkanovski. I'd rather fight. So I would much rather play that guy, Kunimoto, I think his name is. I would much rather play over Zach. You know what I mean?
Kunimoto's. Yeah, that's one of the things. A lot of guys that just. Again, there's only a few upsets. If you can fit both norm for the highest price fighter, I think people are going to steer away.
Okay, great. And I think that because a lot of circles aren't going to know anything about him, which means they're going to be like, oh, that price doesn't make sense. They're going to move away. Makes sense. Because on paper, he should go in there and he should walk through this guy. So the price nervous when you have a guy who basically, because of his price, he has to get a finish in a few professional fights. So it's like you're really relying on something heavy here, and that scares me enough away. I would rather move down a little bit. But it depends. All righty, let's move on to the next fight here. Like I said, we're gonna
love this one.
We're gonna try to quickly. I had to pull it up. Sorry. Oh my goodness gracious! Tim Elliott versus we'll say Ben 10.
I was off a fight, by the way. Next fight I was talking about. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, well, I love this fight. I mean, I don't necessarily love it for DraftKings just because it makes me really nervous.
Oh, you should take down.
I mean, how many takedowns did Louis Smolka get?
Yeah, and Tim Elliott's better than Louis Smolka.
Tim, feel bad for Ben 10. I mean, this is a guy who I've had his mental coach on. You know, his mental really liked that guy, and he talked about Ben a lot, and you know what he's been able to come. I talked to him after the Gene Herrera fight, so this is his first fight since working with Jeff, and you know he seemed to think that a lot of his issues were completely related. So, but boy, this is the wrong fight to get into. Okay, is beating the shit out of Louis Smolka at this point? Like, does that mean a whole lot long ago? Less than a year ago. You know,
aside from the
MMA
match, though,
it's really bad.
I mean, sometimes it can be useful.
If Louis Smolka
it's stylistically a nightmare.
If Louis Smolka can take you down, Tim Elliott is just gonna like pick you up and just carry you around the cage. I mean, a shit ton of points. And on DraftKings, he's 8-7.
But So will everyone else.
I know.
But it's one of those plays. I'm going to have him in most of my teams. But there is some merit in a couple to his takedown defense. He's not super old. If he's improved his takedown defense, he's better on the feet. I'm DraftKings.
Yeah.
I'll have a couple without him in case Ben 10 is improved. But
yeah.
Tim Elliott.
Oh man, I do love Tim Elliott here. All right. So now you got Frankenstein who's taking on Cutelaba. You know,
All in
on Cutelaba.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I would.
Year's got a chin. That's what I learned. Both these guys do.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Frankenstein is a guy who, if he can't get you out of there quick, man. I mean, this is the narrative. I hate just repeating narratives over and over and over again. And then he's gonna either finish you or gas, and there's nothing in between. He's gonna freak out. He's gonna swing his arms over and over and over again. Hey, the man has a chin. So I don't think he's going anywhere. And I think he probably, Cutelaba doesn't necessarily get a lot of finishes. At least not anymore. He hasn't recently, I should say. He hasn't recently gotten it. I might see a finish from him.
Yeah, it probably De Silva is just going to charge forward. Henrique has been rocked before. There's just Cutelaba is better.
Yeah.
It's kind of
he's just a better fighter, man. He's a better fighter. He's in a better place. Coming off a loss.
Cutelaba got 6 takedowns in that fight against Jared Cannonier,
which is nuts.
Didn't Sean Jordan get taken down by take down De Silva 3 times?
Yeah,
something like that. So if he wants to take him down, he probably can.
Equals points, baby. Points.
Yeah, it's a little risky because it's the big guys, but this is one of those. This is where I'm not going to make a stand on the main event. I'll have a few because I think skill wise they're closer, and we'll talk about it.
I'm taking a stand on the main event. I feel pretty confident about it.
I'm probably going to have 2 or 3. 2 out of 3 lineups because the pricing, and you kind of need to pick. But this one, I feel like the skill discrepancy is even bigger. Won't get as much ownership, I think, because I stand this week. And if he loses, let's go on to Singapore.
Yeah, right. I mean, Steele was on. He was on this card. It was the day that Dom Steele fought in China.
Yep.
That was one of my biggest days on DraftKings. It was a card that was at 4 something in the morning. Taking a stand on the main event, by the way, so I'm excited to get to that one. I don't necessarily have some crazy argument. Again, like as you kind of alluded to, like there's only so many arguments to make on this card. The main event's a little bit, you have to be a little bit more technical, but all right, that's not the right thing to say.
Yes, it is.
It's just I don't like the fact that Ross Pearson is fighting third from the top on a UFC card. Honestly.
It's not because of Ross Pearson.
Also because of Ross Pearson, though. People absolutely love this guy. They love him, but there's a lot of likable characters. You know what I mean?
That's why Derek Lewis is main eventing.
Sure, but at least Derek Lewis is
there. His win streak is not as good as you'd think.
I mean, first of all, that is absolutely who I'm picking. Just FYI.
Me too, but
earlier, I'm all in on Daniel Hooker here. Honestly, like when I say I'm all in, I mean like I have no question. I have no question in my heart. Dan Hooker should.
I agree. I think Hooker will win, but I don't know how many points he's going to score. I think it's going to be a typical type of fight. They stand and they box. He scores 60 points, and or maybe 7.
The interesting thing about Hooker is that he won a decision in the UFC. So if he does beat Ross Pearson, it'll be his first decision. But even when he just
his win against Hayoki, and he had
96.
He had a first round sub against.
First, he had a second round finish against Hayoki, which was 96. And then his first round.
There's one takedown in the UFC. I wish he would. I want Pearson to match up, but here Hooker's going to win. He's just longer. He's just better.
Yeah, I think this would be his first. I think this is where he finally gets that. What an interesting little streak to be on. Never winning a decision.
Yeah, but he's a minus 160 favorite, but on DraftKings, this fight, pass.
The next fight here is going to be some of the easiest analysis on the card. Hey,
Maribel, go ahead.
Here's my analysis. Derek Brunson should walk through Daniel Kelly. Try to figure out that conundrum. Derek Brunson should walk through Daniel Brunson in that fight against Robert Whittaker. Robert Whittaker's fantastic. Derek Brunson looked like a fucking moron.
Next fight.
Yeah, and then he's too safe, right? Then he's too safe fighting Anderson. But listen, even in the fights, he wins that decision. This is going back to 2014, but he did beat Lorenz Larkin. I forgot Lorenz Larkin used to fight at middleweight.
Yep.
Excuse me. And I've never seen. I couldn't even imagine that he would look that way. Now he did come out finishes in a row. I knew that would get me to a title. Right? He's walking through all this stuff, and you're like, okay, like Anderson Silva is a ghost of himself, and Brunson
compensated.
He did.
That's what it was.
So I do think that this is an instance of the porridge. Okay, I think he's going to go in here. I think Daniel Kelly is the just right porridge. Closing my eyes and I'm being honest with myself. Derek Brunson should beat the shit out of somebody. I'm not playing Brunson on DraftKings. I'm not betting Brunson on.
He kicked Daniel Kelly once, please. He basically told everyone his knee is held together with glue.
Oh my
which
gosh.
is just some Elmer's glue.
Well, but it was pretty obvious anyway, to be honest.
So somebody kick him. Somebody fuck it. Rashawn Evans kick. Throw a kick. I know.
Is that the guy? That's not really the guy to get that done, so I don't know.
We were talking a little bit before. I'm not playing a ton of DraftKings teams this week. I'll probably bump up DraftKings this week. Is the 3 entry max $20 at entry tournaments and then a bunch of cash games. That's probably where I'm looking this week. Yeah. Some of the other tournaments are not good for a variety of reasons in terms of payout. But so I'm probably going to have, so that being said, I'm looking at 3 teams this week. I'm probably going to have Derek Brunson on 1 because he should beat the shit out of Kelly. He just should. And part of me is rooting for Daniel Kelly.
I saw MMA Kelton. MMA Kelton are just like, you are pissing in the god's face, man. I don't know if that's what you wanted. And the thing is, like, all this damage just has to be catching up on Daniel Kelly here.
Carlos Jr. wore himself out on Kelly's face.
I've never seen it. It was coming from one person.
and that was the last time Kelly fought in Australia. This one and Derek Brunson, that disaster against Robert Whittaker.
That.
But speaking of damage taken, next fight
was that the Chris Camozzi fight where he was getting
Kelly blood? Who knows?
I know. I don't remember which one it was that he just got obliterated.
I think it was
underdog. Every single UFC win, he has been. Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva would make sense. Honestly, I know that sounds absurd, and Anderson Silva is willing to do it. That fight makes sense.
Hang on,
He's beat Steve Montgomery and Turner Cars Jr. Who?
No, I don't want to see that. You know who I'd like to see him fight? Who's low ranked? Uriah Hall.
Oh,
he'll throw a kick.
He will.
He'll
throw a kick.
Daniel Kelly.
It is, buddy. All right, let's get to the main event. You ready?
Let's do it.
Give me some Derek Lewis, man. Derek Lewis versus Mark Hunt. Give me some Derek Lewis. Okay. The only thing that concerns me here is that not where Derek Lewis is, because I'll say this. This is the problem with Derek Lewis, and I'm sure the narrative is pretty obvious here. If Derek Lewis cannot ground and pound you, he has to get on top of you, he has to punch you. If he's not able to do that, it's going to be...
I'd be stunned if this one goes to the cards.
Me too. And
I don't know because Mark Hunt has been so tentative to throw a punch his last fight. I don't know if that's him being tentative or that's just his style. No, what I remember.
He just got murked by Alistair.
He was losing. The problem with both these guys, even was rewatching Tate today.
Yeah.
And Travis Brown, Brown was fresh.
You're going if anybody. Okay, if Travis Brown wasn't he would have finished that fight. Anybody other than Travis Brown would have finished the fight.
4th round knockout.
No, listen,
the Roy
I
Nelson
agree
fight
with all this stuff. But he always finds a way to persevere.
Mark Hunt's chin is shit.
Yep.
If Mark Hunt could take a punch like he used to,
nasty, that sends Mark Hunt to the ground, and Derek Lewis is going to get on top.
The problem is that Derek Lewis is going to one of the best counter strikers in the division. And if and it's heavyweight, and Mark Hunt always has that one hitter quitter. I'm picking Derek Lewis under for Lewis 8,000 for Hunt. It's going to end in a finish. I'm going to make my stand on. It makes me nervous, but the smart pick is hot.
Sure, here's the thing though. If you go through okay, so his last one was against Travis Brown, where he had to come back second round. Okay, pretty early on. Okay, now the Shamil fight. Shamil has veered through it all. He listened to the crowd booing him. He gets the 4th round finish, and he him down
5, 6, a lot.
I mean, more than Roy Nelson ever takes anyone down. I mean, persevered through that thing, and that is his thing. And then obviously he gets the 1st round finish. Again, I mean, you're talking about just a shell of himself at that point. He hadn't. What was that guy's name? The Russian Bear. That was his name. Irokin, I think was his name. Just awful. The guy's.
Remember that fight now? I didn't watch this one.
The Victor Pesta fight.
He got taken down 5 times. Fabricio for Doom. I'm taken for Doom.
Oh yeah. Any guy that'd be able to, I guess I don't feel that confident, but I just don't like Mark Hunt, and I'm probably supposed to like him, I guess. I just don't. I don't like what he's doing. Background in law. That's where I work. It's what I'm doing right now, and yes, I did read the stuff that was released, and no, I'm not overreacting to it.
So I'll take Lewis, especially on DraftKings. You need to make it fits, and you have to make a stand there.
Sure, why not?
For tournaments. Cash games, you could stay away.
Yeah.
Make a case for that.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to the prelims, shall we? Obviously, no Damian Brown. It makes sense that he is on this card, and he is fighting Vince Pichel.
I think it's Pichel.
I was looking into this. I was like, okay, let me look into this guy real quick. 2014. And he fought twice in 2014, pretty back-to-back. He fought I really don't know anything about. And that's it. And he was
8 takedowns.
Which is going to get you some points. But here's the thing. I mean, I just like Damian Brown, just in general. I think that Tuck, I don't know if that's, the greatest thing in the world. But I had picked John Tuck in that fight. So I guess I was
down 5 times.
That's what's in my notes. And that's what you got to look for. See, I don't know a lot about this guy, so honestly, I really shouldn't even be making that.
This is just one of those. I need value and underdogs badly on DraftKings. Who knows what's going to happen? I did see on Tapology he trains at a Big John.
Not know that.
Go to Vince Pichel's.
Here, I'm right here. Big John McCarthy's Ultimate Training Academy.
I didn't know they existed.
Vince Pichel, who's 9-1 Meister, who's 4-0-0 as an amateur. Yeah. AKA BJ. What? Facebook page. Let me go to the Facebook page. Yeah, sure enough. What? And they're posting stuff.
For DraftKings, Pichel is a guy in tournaments I'm probably going to have a little of. It's going to depend on fit. But he's a guy who I know. I like the. There are, let me look. There are 2. Mkhitaryan. Oh, there's 3 actually.
Okay.
What's going to happen for me this week is I'm building a core, and I'm going to rotate in. All those are in play.
Okay. Very cool.
But we'll get there.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it more when we get. Oh, get out of here, computer. Is there anything else you wanted to add to that one?
I just like guys who are going to look.
Who are going to look
for takedowns?
Well, and here's the thing.
Or at least try.
The DraftKings model obviously has been changed for quite some time, but I don't know if everybody's fully adapted to it yet. I don't know if everybody's quite really grasped this, that takedowns are absolute king at this point because they're the ultimate equalizer. You get 4 takedowns, you're at where you need them to be. If they lose.
Yeah. You remember 2 weeks ago when I picked Damian Stasiak and everybody was on Pedro Munoz, and Stasiak scored okay for cash, and he put up a good fight. I hold that Pedro Munoz is way overrated, and I can't wait to pick against him, to keep picking against him. Sure. But at the end of the fight, Munoz has got Stasiak's back and is taking him down with a body lock, and Stasiak standing right back up. He takes him. There's 4 takedowns. I'm just counting 5 points, 10 points, 15. Motherfucker, stop. 20 points. Just useless takedowns.
Yeah. All right, let's move on down to John Moraga taking on another name that I am.
Only because, and I can't find a ton on. This is why he's in play. I can't find a ton on him. He doesn't. What I have seen doesn't look like anything special.
I know.
He is not one of 3
and that Nicolau loss just sticks out like a sore thumb.
Cups and points. This is a week where if the chalk holds, and none of these guys who I think really low fighters, Mkhitaryan or Kunimoto, pull an upset, 5 wins on a roster if you have the right fight for you. It's that kind of week, and a guy who I don't think is going to get finished. GPP shot.
And he is incredibly cheap.
He's 7,000.
That is
This guy is just a regional prospect. I think he reminds me of who's the guy who just stretched out Nordine Taleb?
Oh,
I can't remember that kid's name.
No, I know.
But that kind of thing where they're bringing him in because it's in his
Tapology has him as number one.
Oh, does he? That must be thinking of somebody else. Oh, I'm thinking of
number one ranked. He trains at a Tiger. He trains at a Tiger Muay Thai and Australian top team.
I'm thinking, or not ranked highly, but Moraga. I'll take a shot. I'll take a shot in the flyweights.
Just give Dom Steele, and that's what I'm saying. Just give him his win, man. Like I think they're feeding him. Just feed him.
Gonna get butts in the seat.
Well, you know what I mean. They want to see their local guys. Well, Jumao?
That would be my guess.
Jumao?
Take down City. I hope Steele just...
Number 11 in his at welterweight. And 7 unranked there either.
Right. I think I was reading he was born in one of the Middle East countries, but...
Anybody he's beaten. He's never beaten anybody with a winning record. Okay, so early on, he beat a guy who was 1-3. Then he beat a guy that was 5-6. Okay, then he beat a guy that was 4. So either way, you kind of catch my drift. You know, he's not doing a whole lot. Can I just take a minute here? I mean, one, he has my last name, so obviously fights Danny Roberts, arguably beats Danny Roberts. Honestly, okay.
He scored 60 points in a loss.
and then, in my opinion, he didn't agree with me. But I'm just saying, like, he definitely he had back-to-back fights that he was an underdog.
Court McGee beat him.
Now, I understand. I mean, it was just such an annoying fight to watch that I guess I'm just like, geez, you know, there's nothing technical. There's nothing not rolling around on the ground. There's nothing. It's just Court McGee was just leaning. Roberts was doing, and that was a really good fight.
This guy, though, has been in one interesting with Li Jinglong and Jake Matthews,
which is interesting.
Who are UFC caliber fighters? They both beat him, and that was years and years ago, wasn't it?
Well, Jake Matthews is he's a
UFC caliber fighter.
He's more solid than Jake Matthews. But yeah, 2013 is when Steele he's been in there with Dong Hyun Kim, where he got up. That's where
he said, "Fuck this."
Yeah, I'm done. He goes, "I'm out." Then Dong Hyun Kim proceeds to get in.
Oh, we'll get there. Don't
fight to the century. Okay.
The thing is, Dominic Steele. I think his back is up against, figuratively, his back is up against the cage.
It is.
He has to win, or he's getting his walking papers. He's 1-3 in the UFC.
I'm going to be rooting for him really hard. Like I said, he's a local guy, same last name. Come on, I know, right? Nonstop Dominic, nonstop action-packed Steele. What is my nickname, man? I need to get a good nickname.
I need one too. So I mean, my DraftKings handles Cactus Jack, but that's not really catching on. So
Shaun Cactus Jack has.
Yeah.
It's not doing it for me. Do you know what my DraftKings moniker is?
Aren't you Luther Pug?
Luther Pug 101. Kyle Luther Pug 101 Steele. Doesn't have a good ring to it, huh?
We can work on it. Work on it.
Zach Otto is taking on Kunamoto. I think that Zach Otto gets the win here. I do not understand the pricing / odds. What am I missing?
Let me go to my notes here because I had I thought I had the exact same initial reaction. Like, how is Zach Otto this big of a favorite against fucking anyone?
Well, it's because it's like, okay, it's like I guess I get it. I mean, I do.
He lost a split decision.
He surprised people against Josh Berkman when he gets a split decision win. I don't think
it sucks. It's the same reason I'm on Kunimoto because I don't think Zach Otto's any good. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm really looking for
FYI.
Gareth McClellan
at lightweight, winning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 last 7 fights, would beat Gareth McClellan at middleweight. Of his last 7. Would beat Gareth McClellan at 185. What's his nickname?
Yeah, because
I don't know or care.
We could roll your nickname to something about hating him. So he's 3-1 in the UFC. He hasn't fought in 18 months, and he's 36 years old. I went to watch that fight today, and I ran out of time. But just on paper, I can't imagine he lasted. Telling me he can't hang in there with Zach Otto and score some points.
He choked out Safarian. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that much. I mean, he's not even in the UFC anymore.
He took Magny down. Well, that's worth.
So I guess again, certainly not enough to play. I'm not in a rush to play the other guy though.
Yeah, this is not a ringing endorsement of Kiichi Kunamoto, but let's see if I sort here. 7,100. My choices are Kiichi Kunamoto, Mkhitaryan, or Hirota.
Mkhitaryan for me. Yeah,
that's game theory. That's tournament thinking.
Yeah. All right, next fight we have JJ, because I know her.
It's I'm very that don't make sense. I don't care that this girl's making her UFC debut. Yeah. I don't care. A minus 230 favorite against fucking anyone.
Yeah.
Agreed. No way.
Nope. I agree.
This is pick 'em. It should be pick 'em.
Yeah, agree wholeheartedly. This should be at best 8-3-7-9 at best.
No, I'm not going to put money down. I'm not going there either because I don't know enough.
Yeah.
But it just JJ Aldrich
no desire. I'm excited to see it. I mean, JJ Aldrich went in against. She was very promising coming out of Invicta. She even landed 23. And only loss before that was
something like that.
Only loss before that was who's gone on to be in the UFC as well. She just lost recently though. But storyline, I guess. I'm trying to be interested in this fight. I'm looking for a storyline. I don't care.
I wouldn't even recommend it because I would rather pay down and because we haven't talked about many underdogs I like, other than a couple that I've said, hey, I'll throw one. It's moved on this next fight.
It's moving?
Yeah, it's fucking pick 'em.
A bet. I want to tell our listeners one more time, please, guys, for real. It would help me out greatly. Website. You don't even have to buy anything. Just go to the website. It would help me out. Go to glenavsoap. Don't need to buy anything. If you do want to buy something, though, use code Loudmouth, and you're going to get 15%. You're probably aware running a podcast is not free. I have to pay for SoundCloud. I pay the bills. And, by buying yourself something, or avsoap.com, just going to the website, you're helping me out. So please, your bet.
I did. I just put 3 units on Dong Hyun Kim, and I'm a little nervous because I put 110. Wow. This reminds me of that line. Is this fight being fixed? Fuck. I already made the bet, but now I'm nervous of this. This smells.
I mean,
Jesus.
I just wonder why.
Well, it's not just on 5 times. On some sites, Gowdy's the favorite. And he's been finished in all of them. Kim wins inside the distance, plus 1. I don't. My biggest concern with this.
Well, let's assume it's not being fixed. The price is hard to pass up. Is Dong Hyun Kim on DraftKings then?
He's 80 minus 175.
What I kind of like about that though is there a guy who's going to wind up being an underdog, and people are going to just completely just be like, get incredible.
What the fuck?
I was gonna say I could call my buddy Star. He might be able to explain the line movement.
I would like that a lot.
Very in tune with the betting community. I think he's in Vegas right now, actually. So
World Series.
I might be for that stuff. But yeah, so I'm interested. I'm interested in we should give some type of technical breakdown on this fight.
Yeah,
I mean, why?
Let's recover.
Why?
Before the technical, because what I was going to say is the intro to this fight, and I've said it fight of the year rankings, which fuck that, fuck those rankings. Then the fight that I think could have been better than it was
the Swanson Choi or better. Honestly, I would say the Kim one was better.
Me too, but they happened within like 3 weeks of each other. It's more of an indictment. My breakdown is this is an indictment of Gowdy. He's been finished there. He was finished by Timo Packel in a CA fight before he got finished, but he got finished. He's 0-3 in the UFC. He's been finished in the Brendan O'Reilly fight. He lost a crazy fight against Marco Polo Reyes.
Oh, it's more time out though. Don't just gloss over that. He did not just lose to Dom Steele.
Man, to drop him on his head to knock Dong Hyun Kim out.
He slammed his head into the game.
Polo Reyes.
I know. Incredible.
So I just technical breakdown. Timo Gotti, I think blows. Or people are just going Dong Hyun Kim is overrated. And I kind of DraftKings. Same thing I said earlier. Let's go to Singapore. Right now in the
betting sharks.
Yeah.
Mitch, I forgot to be out this week. Can you cover? And he messaged me, and I should have just been like, "Yeah, come on." I completely day. Well,
that line is totally taking me back. Totally.
Shaun, we did an incredible job, by the way.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
We just finished an entire card, and we're at 40 minutes.
Kobe was missed, but,
it is
show must go on.
Well, I was going to say, it is nice to also just be able to, like, hey, let's just get through this. You know what I mean? Let's just get through a card. Because this week is not nearly as bad as next week. Next week, real quick, we have 5 minutes. Because we never finish this quickly, so we can waste a couple more minutes here, right? You got a little bit of time?
Yeah, I'm good.
Let's look at next week's card real quick.
The undercard is what's interesting. It's not matchups that are interesting. It's individual fighters. Main event sucks. Next, the co-main is Andrei Arlovsky and Marcin Tybura. Interested in seeing Tybura fight. Then we got. It's the other Dong Hyun Kim against Colby Covington. That's probably the best fight in the card, I think. And then you have Tariq Saffiedine and Rafael Dos Anjos. No thanks.
I guess it's like, okay, so let's move on down the card. Holly Holm, Betch Correia is that fight. what is even happening there?
They're trying to build Tybura, I think.
Fight.
That should be the main.
Yeah.
That should be the main event.
Rafael Dos Anjos. Takanori Gomi taking on John Tuck. Jesus.
No.
Walt Harris taking on Justin Scoggins. That's actually an interesting fight. That fight I don't mind.
I just watched that fight. That was the Pedro Munoz caught him in a guillotine.
Yeah, that is a fight that I don't mind. Okay.
You missed Alex Caceres.
Nope, not there. Kwan Ho Kwak. Interesting there. He's the guy that took on Brett Johns and both of their Doan. Jesus. I don't even know. Oh, I know these are. There's a lot of flyweight fights here. Both of these guys are making their debut.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And then Alex Caceres taking on. They're wanting to hand Caceres a win if they can, is what it feels like. If they're able to, they're going to try. I don't know who that guy is. I don't know if it's going to work, but I think that's like, hey man, we've been pretty mean to you. We put you in there with Yair, put you in there with Jason Knight.
So I'm looking one more card ahead because I can't help myself. The Sunday card, it's not that good either. The Oklahoma City card that's got all the hype because Michael Chiesa and Kevin that awful interest generating. Don't talk about my mom. Shit.
I know.
That card's not very good.
I like that card.
Really?
I do.
What fight outside the main and co-main and Clay Guida interests you?
Hold on. I have to go look. What's the date on that one?
Sunday, June 25th.
Is it 111? Nope.
Oh, BJ Penn against Dennis Seaver.
Okay, here we go. Okay. I don't even necessarily like the second one there. Dude, listen, are you asking me, am I interested to see BJ Penn, Dennis Seaver? Of course I am. I'm very interested in that fight. It's weird, but that's why I'm interested in it. Felice Herrig, Justin Kish, I'm absolutely interested in that fight. Clay Guida versus Eric Koch. I just feel so bad for Clay Guida. That last fight that Clay Guida was in, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think I literally I welled up. He was absolutely beating him through those first 2 rounds. He's beating him in the 3rd round, and he just gets caught. And you're like, oh, Clay. That was it. No, it was less than that. He had to make it another 20 seconds. Had he made it, and he couldn't do it. It made me so sad when I was watching it. Josh Stansbury, Jeremy Kimball. Not really. Jeremy Kimball is a guy who, he was handed a really tough first fight, but before, one of them being to Matt Van Buren, who used to be in the UFC. What else?
I think Tim Bosch is going to put Johnny Hendricks lights out, finally.
That's interesting. I guess now that I'm looking at it, well, my boy Daryl Horcher's on the card, and Tony Martin, Johnny Case. There's a lot of bad blood there. Two guys from the same area who beat Tony yesterday, so I'm positive that it's happening.
That's an interesting.
That's weird. We haven't seen Vitor Miranda since.
Are you looking at the right card, man?
Wait a minute, am I off?
You are. UFC.com website's all jacked up because they also have is Carla Esparza front page. This is weird.
Either way, we'll get to this card when we get ahead a little bit. Is there anything you want to add before we go?
Same old. You guys give me a follow on Twitter at Shaun Has, which hopefully when you got to the breakdown of this video, however you got there, Twitter, you can find my username, give me a follow. I also do follow me. I also do the Daily Fantasy Scramble on the Daily Fantasy MMA channel, and I've been writing a blog on Roto Grinders called the MMA Sweat. I actually skipped it last week because I had 2/3 of it written, and my computer crashed, and frankly, it was a minus 20% ROI week, so I didn't feel the need to go back and redo it again. But it will be up this week.
Yeah. And mine was, I guess I should say, you can find me on iTunes, you can find me on SoundCloud, you can find me on Facebook, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, all at Loudmouth MMA. I've already told you all about my sponsors. I'm not going to tell you about them again. Please, seriously, go check them out. It would help me out a lot. Shaun, it was a pleasure, my friend.
It was fun.
Thank you very much. And we'll talk to you soon.